Welcome everyone to our February Sporecyte webinar. See a handful of people are here already. I'll just give everyone a minute or two, see if there's some late joiners, just maybe another 30 seconds or a minute. So this month we're going to be talking about our app, our digital chain of custody app. Talk about some of the other features, some of the upcoming features, and get you ready to use the app if you're not already using it. So it's an exciting, we spent a bit of time getting this developed and continue working on it through this year with some added features, and look forward to seeing a lot more app orders come through. So at 5:01, I think the audience has tapered off. I think we can go ahead and get started. So as I said, this is our February webinar talking about the Sporecyte mold inspection app. So our topics we're going to cover today, we'll talk about Sporecyte briefly, introduce the app, talk about the features. This slide isn't quite accurate because it has pump, which is our last month. We're going to talk about features, upcoming features, and some frequently asked questions, and there'll be plenty of time for questions as well. As always, if you have a question, you can enter it into the chat. We will try to answer questions throughout the presentation as well as the end. If we run out of time for questions, we'll get back to you in a email or some other form of communication. So I'll be the one presenting today, Dylan McIntosh. If you've been on our webinars before, you have likely heard me speak. I'm a certified industrial hygienist. I work here at Sporecyte as a lab director and the product group manager. Sporecyte is a product from our company TechCite. We were founded in 2013. We're a software company operating in the machine learning and artificial intelligence space. We utilize computer vision and digital microscopy to create laboratory tests for air, liquid, and smearable diagnostics. We are used by environmental professionals as well as human and veterinary laboratories, pathologists, and doctors. So there's three tiers, three verticals in our company. There's Sporecyte, which is our environmental vertical, where we look at mold and indoor air quality. There's TechCite, which is the brand for our human analysis, where we have a collaboration with Mayo Clinic as well as other partners, establishing digital diagnostics for human-based tests. And then we do veterinary tests under the white labeled name of VetScan Imagist, which is a product of Zoetis, one of the largest animal health providers in the world. So I'm the lab director. I have a PAACV certified sport analyst certification. We're working towards our accreditation this year. I need to update this slide too. It's 2024 already. We're a licensed mold analysis laboratory in the state of Texas. We also are participants in the AIHA MPAT proficiency testing program for my fungal samples, mycology samples. So here at Sporecyte, we're all about making your lives easier. We want to provide you the best service, the best product possible when it comes to your mold testing for your inspections, your clients, and the agents that you work with. We pride ourselves with preparing the best report possible, as well as accelerated turnaround time, same day, next day report delivery. So this is part of the continuous innovation and service pledge that we have. This app, we want to make your lives a little easier, cut out paperwork and bring it into the digital world. So we'll introduce our app. If you've seen our emails, you've been to our website, you may have seen some of the content already there. So we'll just start at ground zero here with our app. So the main thing that our app does is you can submit a digital chain of custody. That means you don't need to fill out your paper chain of custody forms anymore if you use our app. You can view the status of your submitted jobs. Instead of having to email or call us, you can check on the app to see if we've received your samples in the lab or if they're ready to be reported, etc. There's a link to our shop, so if you need to order more aerosols or a new sampling pump, you can click into the shop from our app, and also manage your account details. If you move offices or update your phone number or email address, you can do that all from the app as well. To access it, we call it the app. It's technically a web app. It's not in the Apple Store or your Google Play Store. It is a web app that you can access by going to mobile.sporecyte.com on any device with internet access, your phone, tablet, laptop, desktop, computer, anything with internet access. Your login credentials, if you're a Sporecyte customer already, you likely have credentials that you can use already. It's the same credentials you would use when you check out in the Sporecyte shop. If you've never shopped at the Sporecyte shop, but you have sent us analysis samples, you likely have an account because that's how we handle payment and things, whether you know it exists or not. So if you're unsure if you have a Sporecyte account, you can go to either the app or our website and submit a lost password. And if you have an account, you'll get a password reset link to your email address. If you don't have an account already, you can create one through our website or through the app as well. So credentials, it's email and password that you use to access our shop. How it works, what it does, we'll kind of get into some of the things this app does and how you would use it out in the field. So first and foremost, you're going to log in. Each user will have a unique login with the username and password. This allows it to automatically know, hey, Dylan, I've logged into the app. It knows me, my name, my business name, my phone number, etc. So it knows who's submitting this order already. So I don't need to type in who's sampling because it knows it's me because I'm using my account. When you log in, you get sent to this dashboard where there's a list of options: submit job, create new job, view all jobs, order supplies, or my account. There's also links on the bottom of the page to a quick start guide. If you are new or you need a reminder of how to operate the app, you can click into the quick start guide at the bottom of the web page, the app page, to view that. If you're interested in reviewing the terms and conditions or return and refund policy, those are also linked to the bottom of the dashboard page. So what you all are going to be most interested in is the process of submitting a new job, a digital chain of custody, if you will. So with this, when you click into create a new job, you'll start by typing in the property information. This is where you're doing the sampling. The project name and address will be included on the report, so make sure it is something recognizable for you, whether it's your client's name, the internal order number. Some people like to keep it really easy and just do the property address in the project name and on the address lines. You can do whatever works best for you, just with the understanding that these fields will appear on the front page of your report. So here we have the Johnson residence. You type in the address and all the important information there below. There's a collection date field. What that means is the day that you're collecting those samples. Most often, you're probably going to be doing this in the field while you're sampling, so it'll default to that day's date. But for example, say you collected samples the day before and it was in the middle of nowhere, where you didn't have data connectivity, so you weren't able to submit the job while you were on site. So you jot down all the information on paper, and then the next morning you submit it over through Sporecyte. You'll want to make sure to update that collection date to be the date that you actually collected those samples. Next, you scroll down the page and you get to the samples section. Here is where you will actually start adding the sample information. So first, you select the type of samples you're submitting: an indoor air, an outdoor air sample, or a surface sample. And then from there, there's a drop down to select more details. So if you're taking a surface sample, is it a swab or a tape slide? If it's an air sample, are you using an aerosol or an allergenco cassette, etc. Then you would type in the sample location. Again, this sample location is going to be the name that you use, that you have in the report that we use to report the data. So make sure your sample location is something recognizable for the property, the room, etc. That is usually the best bet. So here we're taking a sample, swab sample in the kitchen. Then the last step here is the barcode or serial number. Now these air sample cassettes all have a barcode and a serial number on them. Here's a different style here. And you would write down that number here. You could type it in. If you're using something like a swab that doesn't have a barcode or serial number listed on it, you'll want to use a unique identifier. So what that means is you could type in the letter 1, and then on that swab, write the letter 1. The next swab you take, you could call it 2, write the letter 2, the number 2 on the swab. You could use letters, numbers, unique identifier. I like to just keep it really simple and suggest doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 throughout however many swabs or tapes or whatever you may be collecting that doesn't have a manufacturer's serial number on it. I like to just keep it simple and keep it 1, 2, 3, 4 A, B, C, D. But you're welcome to use whatever identifier works for you. So here, after you type it all in, you could hit add sample to then add another sample to this order. If you need to delete a sample, you can edit it if you need to change anything in the process, or if you want to delete a sample, you can click the 3 dots in the upper right hand corner, the kebab icon, click into that, and you'll have an option to delete there as well. When you've added all the samples into the job, you'll click the create job button at the bottom of the page, the big blue button. What then happens is a confirmation page will pop up where you have a chance to review the property information and the samples. If you need to go back and add, change, or update any of the information you've typed in before, you have an opportunity to do so. Then you would return back to that confirmation page, and then you will click the finish button at the bottom. What that means is it will create the job and send us, Sporecyte, the information that you've filled into the app. You'll know you've submitted the job correctly because you'll be presented with an order summary page. On this order summary page, you're going to have an order number, the status, and a total. That total is going to be an estimated total. If you have used our shipping labels for return shipping, that'll be added on to the charge when we receive them. Or if you have promotional code or coupons that may have a reduction in price, that would be reflected after we receive the sample. So it's an estimated total there. Now, the most important thing here is the order number. Now, this is the identifier for your job. This is unique to that specific job. And what you'll do is when you pack up those samples to send in to us at the lab, all you need to do is include that order number with the samples. There's a number of ways you can do this. You can jot it down on a slip of paper and put it in the package with the samples. You can write it on the actual cassettes if you'd like. You could write AQ6949 in this example on the cassettes themselves. Some people will send all of the samples in a little Ziploc baggie, in a box or a pack. You could write it on the baggie. That's really handy if you're sending multiple jobs in one package, is to bag up the individual jobs and then write on with a Sharpie or another marker on the exterior of the baggie. If you forget to include that AQ number, we should be able to still locate this the information from this order. It just makes our lab, it makes their lives a little bit easier if that's included when they open up the package. The app can process jobs with up to 50 samples. We don't get many jobs with 50 or more samples, but if you're one of those people who you might have maybe you're doing an apartment complex or something, with a ton of samples. You might want to check with us. It unofficially will support more, but it officially supports up to 50. So if you want to use the app for a job with more than that, reach out to us and we can give you the thumbs up, or just tell you to use the paper chain of custody if that's what would be needed. So we'll move on to the second aspect of the app, and that is the view all jobs. So when you click view all jobs, you'll be presented with a display of jobs that you've submitted through the app. And with those, it'll be the property address, the project name, and then a status. And we have had some questions of what do these statuses mean exactly. So the key to decipher what those statuses mean is here on the screen. Submitted, that means your job information has been sent to Sporecyte and we have received it. We've received the information. Laboratory received, that means the lab has received the physical samples that you sent us. We have received these and they're in the queue to being processed and analyzed. When this job has been completed, when the analysis has been done, the status will be changed to completed. This happens after we've billed and sent the report. So for example, if you're looking to your app and you see a job that says completed, but you don't see the report in your inbox, maybe check your spam folder or reach out to us to make sure we get that to you, because the completed has indicated that you've been billed and the report has been sent. Canceled, for example, if you send us a job and then the next day your client backs out of the transaction for an unrelated reason, and you don't need to get those samples processed anymore, so you call us up to say, hey, those samples I sent you, I don't need them analyzed anymore. We can move the status to canceled, and that means that you've requested that those samples do not be analyzed. So this has been we're over halftime already. It's been a lot of information. So I want to take this time to talk about the resources we have for our app that you can view. If you go to our website, at the very top, you can see here a screenshot of our website. You can click app. That will send you to that mobile.sporecyte.com page, the actual app itself. So if you ever forget how to get there, you can click that. Also, we have this page, web page built up, the sporecyte.com/web app. This has a ton of resources. And if you've seen our emails about the app, you probably, maybe you haven't clicked the link, but this link has been provided. Here, there's a full video walkthrough quick start guide. There's also a text-based quick start guide. There's really handy videos. So like I've said, this is a web app that you access through a browser, but you can actually add a icon to your home screen where it would act like any other app that you've used. You could actually add a Sporecyte button, and then when you click on it, it would open up the app for you. And there's videos on how to do that for Apple as well as Android devices. And then there's some frequently asked questions. If you have general questions that you think may be pretty straightforward, they're probably covered in the FAQs there. So like I said, we've built this app. It took us a little longer than we had hoped, but there is future aspects, future features that we're going to be building into this app throughout the year. So I want to just spend a few minutes here before we shift to FAQs and questions to talk about upcoming features that we will be expecting to see in our app as the year progresses. So a big one is team account management. Many home inspectors, you operate as a part of a team, where maybe you have a team lead or an administrator, that all your samples get billed against a centralized account, or maybe we send the reports to a single email or to the leader and then the inspector email. All these different possible team account possibilities we are bringing into the app. So team leaders can add, edit, or remove inspectors from their team roster, as well as set up things like centralized billing, centralized or report delivery to specific emails in addition to the inspector's emails. Things like that will be coming to the app. in the next few months. Right now, if you send us a job and you hit that finish button, you can't edit anything in that job. And if you need to say, oh, I missed a sample, or I misspelled the client's name, or the address is wrong, you just have to email us or reach out to us and we can fix it really easily. In the future, you'll have the opportunity to edit jobs that you've submitted through. That will be coming very soon, within probably the next handful of weeks. Any job that has been in the submitted status will be able to be edited once it's received by the laboratory. You won't be able to edit it anymore, and that's just because we don't want you to accidentally change things after our lab has started processing those samples. There's things that need to be changed at that point. You would need to reach out and ask for those changes to be made. Another feature that we're bringing to the app later this year is we'll actually we'll continue to deliver reports via email, but you will also be able to pull them up from the View All Jobs, from the job listing in the app. So no matter what, you'll have a way to quickly pull up and search for past jobs and find reports easily without going through your inbox. And then one of the other features that we are currently designing right now is a way to generate return shipping labels on demand. Today, if you purchase supplies from us, you get an option to click a checkbox to get pre-made return labels to you with that order. Here, we will have a way for you to create a return label that you could either print off yourself or go to the UPS store and have printed and attached to your return shipment to us. So that's another thing that will be coming later in the year. We'll cover a few frequently asked questions. This may answer some questions that may have come through already. And then after this, there'll be time for questions and answers as well. We'll probably have 5 minutes or so for some questions. So can I still use paper forms? Some people really prefer, they don't want to use their phone or tablet. They'd rather just fill out the paper that they use already. Sometimes people will like to fill it out on their laptop or tablet and then print and send off. You can, of course, continue to use your paper chain of custody forms if you'd like. That's not going to go away. And then also, we jump down to the second question, or the third question. How do I use the app if I don't have data connectivity on the job site? So this app requires data connectivity while using it. If you don't have it, you can either use a paper chain of custody as backup or complete the information when you return to a location with data connectivity. So you'll have both opportunities to do the app or the chain of custody form that we've been doing traditionally. So the second one is, in the frame of a team leader, do all of my individual inspectors need to have their own account? The answer to that is, if you plan to use the app, every person who's doing the sampling or doing the inspection will need to have their own account if you want to use the app. And that's because the inspector information that gets added to the report and tracked with the samples is tied to who the credentials are that was logged in and submitted that job. So having shared credentials is really not preferred. We'd rather everyone have their own individual credentials. This will also be really helpful when the team account management feature comes out. You could add or invite, remove, or edit team members on your account. So every person will have their own account. If I made a mistake when I filled out the app, filled out the job information on the app, how do I fix it? So today, you would just send us a message or a phone call, and we can update it on our end pretty easily. In the very near future, you'll have the opportunity to edit your job information after you've submitted it, and you could add, remove, change field names or anything that you need at that time. So like I said, there's about 5 minutes here for questions. If anyone has additional questions, felt like we blew right through this information. If you haven't used the app yet, you can get started and play around in the app. And you can see it's pretty straightforward. It's essentially taking the forms from the chain of custody field and digitizing them so you can fill them out on your mobile device. I see a question here is Chad had asked, will notifications come from the app or text and email still? So our app is a web app, so we don't have the ability to send push notifications. And I don't know about you, but the last thing I need on my phone is another thing that's going to send me push notifications. So at this time, it won't send you notifications on your phone. You'll still get notified in the traditional ways, primarily via email. All right, let's just see if there's any other questions that come in. If not, we'll wrap up a couple of minutes early. Great, I got another question here that says, once I download the app, does that save my personal information so I no longer need to enter it? Exactly right. So when you log in or create your account, it will use the personal information that you have set in your profile. So your name, your business name, your phone number, email address, all of that information that's in your account will be used when it sends the information over with the job information. So that touches on the same thing that I talked about just a few moments ago about how everyone should have their own account, because the information that gets sent over is sent over with the account owner's information, whoever's logged in. So, yep, you don't need to type your name and phone number in every time like you might have to write on the paper form. That's all done automatically. Jim asked, how do we get the shipping labels? So if you order supplies through us, there's a checkbox that we will provide return shipping labels. They are second day AM labels right now, FedEx labels. We charge for those. It's, I believe, $27.99 for our return shipping. And you can either do it during checkout, or if you don't need to order any new supplies recently, you can send us an email or a phone message, and we can get some labels sent out to you in an email. And then in the future, those will be generated on demand in the app. Kelly has asked, can I access the app from a computer or an iPad? Absolutely. It's been built to be used on a mobile device. So the design choices we made are there with the expectation for a phone or a tablet like an iPad, but you certainly can access it from a computer. Anything with internet connectivity, you'll be able to access and submit information through. All right, just see if any other questions come in. How do I download the app? It's a great question. You don't actually download the app. It's a web app, so you can navigate to mobile.sporecyte.com or go to sporecyte.com and click the button in the top menu bar that says app. That will also send you there. If you go to our website, there are videos that will show you how to add the app to your phone on your home screen. So it'll be a shortcut button on your home screen, but you actually don't need to download any information onto your device. It's all done through a web browser. All right, it looks like we have no more questions, and we have about 30 seconds left until we are over. So we will wrap it up here. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can reach out to us through our website, through a phone call, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you have about the app or anything else. So we look forward to talking to everyone again next month on our March webinar. Look into your email in the next few weeks to see what that will be about. And just want to thank everyone for coming out and listening to us talk about the app tonight. So have a good evening. We'll talk to you next month.